Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into those fascinating new Adobe initiatives, and they really have the potential to reshape how we think about digital creativity, especially in a world that's
Oh, absolutely.
saturated with AI and
Yeah.
all this new tech. So
It's a lot to unpack.
it is.
Uh,
We've got two of their latest blog posts lined up, and the first one, well, it really caught my eye because it deals with something I know a lot of creators are concerned about. I'm sure our listeners are too, right? It's that whole issue of how do you protect your work online?
right. Like you pour your heart into a design or a photo and it's instantly all over the internet, sometimes without you even.
Getting credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how's Adobe tackling this?
All right, so they're calling this new thing content authenticity.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
it's kind of like, imagine this, right? You finish a project,
Okay.
and you can attach this thing, these content credentials, directly to it. It's almost like, how do I put it?
Like a digital signature?
Yeah, but even more than that, it's like a chain of custody for your work in the digital world.
A chain of custody. That's a powerful way to put it. So we're talking about more than just proving you created it.
Way more, yeah. Think about it. It records every edit you make, like every single time the file changes hands.
Wow.
And it lets creators set specific preferences for how their work can be used, especially when it comes to AI, which is...
Huge. Because
Mm.
we're in this world now where AI can just whip up some incredibly realistic stuff.
Yeah.
And knowing the origin of a piece of art, of anything really, is only becoming more important.
Exactly. And to make this whole managing content credentials thing easier, Adobe is releasing this whole web app, and you can batch apply credentials to a ton of files at once.
Oh, nice.
Customize the information that's included,
Yeah.
and even control how your work can be used with AI.
So speaking of AI, this AI preference feature sounds super interesting, especially for like artists who are concerned about their style being, I don't know, mimicked or,
Cloned.
yeah, cloned by AI without their consent.
I know, and that's where this feature comes in. It's basically like sending up a signal flare saying, hey, hold up. I don't want my work being used to train other companies' AI models.
It's about setting those digital boundaries, which is so important.
Exactly. And to make those boundaries even more solid, they're also releasing this Chrome extension, and you can view content credentials on any website.
Even if someone tries to remove the metadata or something.
Imagine it like an invisible watermark that just follows your work everywhere.
So even if the file's altered, that history is still embedded within it.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
I know. And honestly, the most encouraging thing I've read about all this is how excited creators are.
Yeah.
I was reading this interview with a photographer, and they were talking about the frustration of having their photos shared endlessly online without any credit, even turned into memes.
That's
And
fair.
and for them, this content authenticity thing, it's like that thing I wish I knew when I started kind of moment.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It gives them a level of control that hasn't really existed before now.
Exactly. And the best part, we won't have to wait long to get our hands on it. Content authenticity, from what we're hearing, should be available to everyone by early 2025.
Okay. Can't wait to try it out. What else is on our deep dive agenda today?
Okay, so ready to have your mind blown again. This next Adobe innovation isn't about, protecting what you've already made. It's about igniting that creative spark right from the beginning.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. I'm always up for a little creative spark.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this one?
So it's called Project Concept, and it tackles this challenge that, let's be real, every creative person knows way too well. It's that initial brainstorming phase
Oh, tell me about it.
where you're drowning in ideas, but you're not sure which one to grab onto.
It's like that beautiful chaos, right? Where do you even begin?
Exactly. And a lot of those AI tools out there, they kind of expect you to walk in with this fully formed vision.
Yeah, you got to have it all figured out, right?
Exactly. You feed them these very specific prompts and they spit out variations on that theme.
Which can be helpful at a certain stage for sure, but not when you're still in that messy exploratory phase.
Exactly. They want a blueprint when you're still doodling on a napkin. And that's where Project Concept swoops in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So how does it work?
So imagine it as your AI brainstorming buddy, right?
Yeah.
Happy to get messy with you in those early stages. And it's all about this balance between divergent thinking, expanding your options,
Right?
and then convergent thinking, helping you narrow those options down. So let's say you're designing a poster for a music festival. Project Concept could help you explore a ton of different visual themes, retro psychedelic,
Love it.
minimalist techno, all within seconds, right?
So you can get a feel for all these different vibes before committing to one direction.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the visuals. Imagine playing around with layouts, different fonts, color palettes, all in one place.
This sounds like a game changer for brainstorming,
Ugh.
seriously.
Yeah.
How does it work with other tools? Like, can you use it with existing programs?
That's the cool part. Project Concept is built to work right within Creative Cloud, so think Photoshop, Illustrator. You can seamlessly jump from brainstorming in Project Concept to actually creating in your go-to apps.
So it's not just this standalone thing. It's a part of a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And get this, even though it's powered by AI, Adobe is building it with those same ethical considerations in mind.
Okay, good, because that's important.
It's going to use those content credentials, ensuring those artists get credit for any source material.
I was just thinking, with all this AI stuff, we got to make sure we're respecting artists' rights.
Exactly. It's about using tech to empower, not overstep, right?
100%. Okay, so when can I get my hands on Project Concept? Give me the details.
Well, hold your horses just yet. It's still in beta testing.
Yeah.
But keep your eyes peeled because it sounds like Project Concept could really be huge.
I mean, it makes sense, right? We're heading into this future where AI is a part of every stage of the creative process, from those first sparks of inspiration all the way to the final product.
Absolutely. And you know me, I'm all about embracing the tools that help us push those creative boundaries, but doing it responsibly.
100%.
But for now, let's shift gears for a sec and talk about what this all actually means for you, our listener. So we've covered a lot of ground here, talking about AI, these content credentials, the future of creativity. You might be wondering, like, what does this all mean for me, the person listening right now?
It's a fair question.
Uh.
And I think sometimes it helps to just zoom out for a sec, look at the big picture. We've been exploring these two really powerful tools from Adobe, and they're both powered by AI, yeah, but they're designed with creators in mind, front and center.
Right. Like on one side of the coin, you've got content authenticity, which is like giving every image, every song, every digital creation its own verifiable history. It's launching early next year. And I think it has the potential to completely change how we think about ownership in the digital space. Imagine you open up a file and you can trace its entire journey from the creator's computer to your screen.
That kind of transparency could be huge for combating things like plagiarism, misinformation, you name it.
Exactly. And then on the flip side, there's Project Concept, which is all about like amplifying that initial spark of creativity. It's like having an AI partner who's down to brainstorm with you, experiment with you, no judgment.
And what really stands out to me is that Adobe isn't just releasing these tools without any, I don't know, safeguards in place. The fact that they're weaving in content credentials into Project Concept,
Yeah,
that says a lot. It shows a real commitment to ethical AI, which is crucial right now.
totally. It's about like striking that balance, right? Harnessing the power of this tech, but never losing sight of the human element, the creators who are driving it all.
100%. It's definitely an exciting time to be a creative. These tools have the potential to change not just how we create, but how we value and interact with art in a digital world, which is really cool to think about.
It really is. And for anyone listening who might be feeling a little, I don't know, overwhelmed by all this new stuff, or even a bit unsure about AI in general, honestly, my advice is simple. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and don't be afraid to experiment. These are tools after all, and it's up to us to use them in a way that feels, ethical, responsible, and creatively fulfilling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, it seems like we've reached the end of our deep dive for today. Until next time, everyone.